Hey, Asher, are you picking up anything strange on channel J1869? Sounds kind of like music.
Channel J what? No, I hear nothing of consequence on any of my scanners, including this one.
That's weird. I bet I can track it back to the source. Are they scanning that thing, or is it scanning them? There's a message encrypted in this music. Got it. Some kind of quotation. Real things in the darkness seem no realer than dreams. Asher, can you run an archive query for us? Asher. Channel's down. I'll run the query myself. I don't think the Taken will go without a leader for long. Someone will try to take control. So, it turns out both the music and the quotation predate the traveler's arrival in this solar system. They're old. Maybe we activated some kind of high-tech time capsule. There's another old quotation encoded here. Misdirected by accident or intent, intelligence can foster its own ecstasies of growth and decay. The weird thing is this audio file was just updated. So, this can't be a time capsule. Someone's trying to talk to us. No, something. This has to be an AI, right? An old Golden Age AI, like failsafe. they're asleep. The music must have hypnotized them. This one says, once war has been undertaken, no peace is made by pretending there is no war. What does that mean? By pretending there is no war? I'm not sure I like the new guy.
Don't touch that thing. It looks like this access point has been modified to allow exos to interface with the Vex network. Let's just leave it alone for now.
Someone must be expecting us. Is anyone here? Rasputin? You know, I'm going to be really disappointed if this is all just an elaborate trap to kill us.
Weaponized music, creepy quotations, all signs point to Rasputin. But I don't understand how he could be here. Ah, that music, it hurts. Just give me a second. It says, never ask for anything, never for anything, and especially from those who are stronger than you. They'll make the offer themselves and give everything themselves. The war mine network used to span across the entire solar system. I guess during the collapse, it just fragmented.
I've planned a novel experiment, Assistant, and you shall be my guinea pig. I need you to gather radiation. Move. Go. Shoot.
We're happy to help, but why? What's the experiment?
I am trying to create synthetic light. If this experiment succeeds, then perhaps we can make new Guardians here.
It won't work, Asher. The energy here is not light, and science cannot manufacture blessings.
So you say, but you have not stopped me, have you? You want this to work, and it will. My theory is sound.
Field team to home team. We are 100% irradiated.
Excellent. Now we'll need calibrations. Act naturally, Assistant. Go punch something.
I'm sending that data back now, Asher. Should we keep punching, or...?
No, my field equipment is ready. Go to the test site.
If this works, it will change everything.
I think we're coming up on your test site, Asher.
You simply need to activate the field equipment to begin, and be gentle with it. It's yours to replace if it breaks.
Okay, Asher, something's definitely happening. But we've got a lot of Taken coming in.
Yes, I expected they would be drawn by the anti-umbral pulses.
Creating some kind of energy. Huh.
I'm seeing extreme variance in my data. The Taken must not be allowed to interfere with this experiment.
Extravagant light shows can't create guardians.
clear at the test site. You guys have any results? This thing isn't gonna put the Traveler out of a job, right?
Unfortunately, my predictions appear to be flawed. Your light cannot pass to another, nor can the power created by this experiment.
Asher's learned the same lesson that Gaul did. We cannot create or take light. Only the Traveler can choose to gift us with it.
Let us know if we can help with anything else. I didn't think it would work either, but you can't help hoping for a miracle.
Assistant, I have a task for you, but I fear your fleshy body is insufficiently resilient for my purposes.
Did you just say fleshy?
There's a garage nearby full of armored vehicles. Procure one. Now that you have use of this device, do you recall the Warmind Vault? The Vex are keenly interested in its secrets. That ends now.
kind of information do the Vex want from the Warmind Vault?
The Warmind had a special connection to humanity's lost arts. Music, literature, film. The Vex may not understand this emotional frivolity, but they will use it as a weapon against us, if we let them.
We're making good progress. I have a suggestion, though.
A suggestion?
Well, if the Vex stole irreplaceable data, wouldn't it be good to, you know, recover some of it, instead of destroying it?
Huh, recover it. Huh. Yes. Yes. Well, fine, fine. Do as you see fit.
I don't see anything of interest in our kill data so far, Asher. Are you sure these are the right Vex?
What do you mean, the right Vex?
You know, like, are these the robots we're looking for?
The Vex would not trust goblins and hydras with such valuable data. You need to find the Vex mind responsible for the incursions.
You're really infuriating sometimes. All right, one mind coming up. We got him, Asher. Looks like the Vex did steal files from the vault. Let's see. Some files about Mars, somebody named Anna Bray, and of course lots of data on the Warmind project. You'll have to take a look. I hope it's useful.
Hope is a logical fallacy. Only data leads to concrete solutions. that you? Vex energy readings are off the charts. Go find out what's happening and be quick about it.
Asher, we found Vex protecting some kind of construct. It's pumping energy into the ground. Asher, we found a construct injecting something into the ground, but a Vex mine showed up and took it.
The mind took it?
Yep, just swoop, took it. We're tracking it now.
I hypothesize that the Vex are preparing to fully machinoform this moon.
Like you do.
Ah, yes. Laugh it off. The Vex are simply planning to transform every planet in the system into a cog in a vast, inscrutable machine. They merely wish to convert every particle of matter on this moon, living or dead, into a radiolarian solid.
Well, when you put it that way. Asher, we followed the mine to some kind of sink plate.
How curious. See if you can establish a connection with the Vex Collective. I've designed a virus which might prove useful.
A virus? Huh. I hope you know what you're doing.
Established a link into the Collective, but I can't deploy the virus. A Vex mind is blocking deeper access.
Oh, probably the one that swooped the construct. We'll find it.
According to the Collective, the mind is summoning some sort of pestilent defense.
Destroyed the mind, Asher.
Yes, yes. Now return to solid ground before the Vex reconfigure their thought protocols. Those platforms are about to disappear. I've just lost access to the Collective. Nonetheless, I did manage to release the virus. I imagine the Vex will find this development rather upsetting.
That doesn't sound ominous.
Indeed. We shall allow this experiment to unfold in its own time.
issue a command.
Guardian, my agents report that the Taken are gathering at a Cabal camp near your current position, but we have no idea why. I would appreciate your insight.
So what if the Taken are gathering? They're not bothering us. With a little peace and quiet, I might be able to do some real work.
The Taken are an army without a commander, Asher. If we leave them with a little peace and quiet, they might crown a new king.
Pulse rifle. Oh fuck a pulse rifle like that.
Found a scary portal. Reminds me of the ones we saw in the Dreadnought.
A portal to the Ascendant Realm. Taken world lies beyond that veil. A new power must be seeking entrance into our world.
should be able to directly manipulate Io's hyperparticle dimensions to collapse the portal.
Sorry, what?
Your hands! Use your hands to pick up the energy.
We've got it. Now what?
Bring it to that portal! You're fighting entropy with order here. Move!
I'm pretty sure that's our old job description.
Shadows grow darker in the presence of light. Fight back, Guardian.
This. Oh my god, they could fucking. Damn, so much shit to glitch.
Hurry. Whatever's on the other side of that veil has to know you're trying to seal it in.
Stop multi-flying. Stop it.
Cora, something's coming through.
How deliciously unexpected.
Ah, God. Ooh. Ah, fuck.
Team? The screaming thing from the abyss is dead.
That creature was the servant of some higher power. I fear something has claimed Oryx's crown.
Yes, let's move on. Your intuitions were correct, mine were not, and the Guardian's prowess in battle was adequate.
His bitch ass.
More data. I need more information. I am annoyed, and I am armed. Juice box. Ah, my assistant. The so-called hero of the Red War. The celebrated restorer of light. Ah, my assistant. I admit, I may have underestimated your ability to gather verifiable data, and... Gawking at my arm, are you? Let's get this over with. In my centuries of life, I have met many people who make their problems unnecessarily complicated. Indeed, I may be one of them. I did not realize it before studying your approach. Your methodology is crude, almost Cro-Magnon-like. Really, I don't know how you get anything done. However, I cannot argue its efficacy. Without you, I would be hopelessly behind in my research. I suppose, my dear assistant, what I'm trying to say is... leave until I have need of you again.
Bitch ass. Dang.
Do not feel the nanomachines in your tendons. It's just your mind playing tricks on you. If you are staring at my arm, leave. Now!
7 things you may not know about Ferrari. If you think of a colour to do with Ferrari, you probably think of red, but there was a time in which they raced in blue. In 1962, Ferrari homologated their 250 GTO for the GT Race Series. This required the factory to build 100 road cars, which they simply didn't have the means to do. However, Enzo had a plan, and the story goes that he took the FIA inspectors to see small groups of 250s before moving on to another area to see more. Sounds fine, right? Well, Enzo was having the few 250s he did have quickly moved to a different area of the factory while he and the representatives were on their way, making it seem like they had built the full 100. The homologation was approved, but the FIA had suspicions when so few 250 road cars were being seen on the market. A lot of this is said to be myth, but in 1964, when Ferrari wanted to homologate another car, the FIA declined it, and Italy's national motorsport body did too. In a fit of rage, Enzo handed in his racing license and swore to never race in red again. This caused a stir as race cars in the 60s raced in their national colours, not in their liveries. The final event of the season saw Enzo come true on his word. 2 Ferraris lined up on the grid wearing blue and white to represent the US track they were racing on. The last car to ever receive Enzo's approval. Enzo approved every Ferrari model to ever leave the factory, and the last car to ever receive the founder's blessing was the F40. If there was ever a final car to see your company build, the F40 was undoubtedly a high note. The F40 was one of the original poster cars, and is still loved and adored by fans all across the world. The meaning behind the logo. In 1923, while at a track in Italy, Enzo Ferrari met Countess Paolina, the mother of the famous fighter pilot Baracca. The pilot had 34 victorious duels under his belt and was a national hero. The pilot painted a prancing horse on the side of every plane he flew for good luck, and the Countess suggested that Enzo paint the horse on his race cars too. Some 9 years later, at the 1932 Spa 24-hour race, Enzo painted the prancing horse on his cars, with a yellow background to signify its birthplace of Modena. Enzo's team won the race, and he carried on adorning the prancing horse from that moment on. Enzo was only in it for the racing. Enzo was a straight-shooting man. He said what he believed and didn't care if that was going to upset anyone. He believed that the only thing worth pursuing was racing, and that a car could only be beautiful once it had won a race. These beliefs often got him into trouble with customers, who Enzo would openly tell he didn't care about their cars and that they were rich playboys who had too much money. Enzo stated that he only created the road cars to fund his racing habit, and he meant it. The Ferrari-Ford deal. You may see Ferrari as an incredibly successful brand, but in the early 60s they were struggling badly. The company didn't have enough money to stay afloat, so started to consider selling part of it off. Enter Henry Ford II, president of the Ford Motor Company, who had plans to buy Ferrari, inject the company with money, and keep the prancing horse going. Talk started, and everything seemed to be going fine until Enzo noticed that in the contract, Ford wanted control of the racing team. Enzo couldn't care less about the road cars, but the race team was his pick.
Sells for a fortune down in the city. Be careful. Watch out. That sells for a fortune down in the city. Be careful. That sells for a fortune down in the city. Be careful.
Ford refused to budge, and Enzo famously stood up from the meeting with 14 Ford delegators, asked if his secretary wanted to go get something to eat, and walked out, abandoning the deal and leaving Ferrari in a very precarious position. Henry Ford II, so enraged by what Enzo had done, went to his team in the US, gave them a blank check and one mission: build me a race car that will beat Ferrari at Le Mans. 1 year later, the Ford GT40 was born. The reason not all Ferraris are V12s. When you think of Ferraris, you think of soulful V12s. However, they've had their fair share of incredible V8s and V6s too, and that's thanks to Enzo's son Dino. Dino had been researching V6 technology in his early life before passing away at the age of 24 due to muscular dystrophy. In a tribute to his son, Enzo dropped his marriage to the V12s and furthered his son's research. This resulted in the first ever Ferrari to feature an engine other than a V12, the 1966 Dino 204S race car, powered by a 2-litre V6 making 220 horsepower. Ferruccio Lamborghini versus Enzo Ferrari. In 1958, Ferruccio Lamborghini, the then famous tractor builder, bought a Ferrari 250 GT from Ferrari. After a short period of time, Ferruccio noticed that the clutch was constantly going wrong. In the end, Ferruccio got so angry that he contacted Enzo Ferrari himself to complain, but was met with the famous line, "What does a tractor maker know about cars? You stick to building tractors, I'll stick to building cars." And the rest is history.
Affordable, sleek, and light as a feather, it burst onto the scene just as the world was recovering from the gas crisis. Almost 40 years later, you can still find it tearing up tracks and endurance races around the world. For many cars, you can describe the engine's sound with a word like hum, purr, roar.
Now that I can once again touch the light, I no longer fear my time coming to an end. My chronicle of this Red War can now truly begin. Perhaps you'll be in the dedication. No references to the Red Legion. None. How is that possible? We don't know what we've lost. We are that blind. I am here for you, of course. How could I not have known the name Gaul? No references to the Red Legion. None. How is that possible? Consider my knowledge at your disposal. Do you have something? A cipher, perhaps? We shall unravel that which is hidden. I am here to help. We don't know what we've lost. We are that blind.
Today we're here to spend time with an iconic car whose engine noise could best be described as a barrel of angry bees! Not the bees! This is everything you need to know to get up to speed on the Mazda RX-7.
What is that?
It would be impossible to discuss the RX-7 without talking about its engine. A Wankel rotary engine. What is a Wankel rotary engine, Pumphrey? The rotary engine works off the geometric principle of inscribed triangles inside of an dude. The rotary engine works off the geometric principle of inscribed triangles inside of an epitrochoid figure. Enormous words to describe the slightly mesmerizing movement of a triangle trapped in a pinched oval. As the triangle piston rotates, it creates three areas inside of the compartment. The phases of combustion occur around the outside of the triangle as it spins. The rotary engine was invented by German engineer Felix Wankel when he was a teenager. He didn't get around to actually marketing the engine until after World War II while he was working for a motorcycle company named NSU, Nebraska State University. Holler. In 1959, NSU invited a group of engineers and leaders of the automotive industry from around the world to see Wankel's rotary engine. One of the men was Matsuda, head of what was then called Toyo Kogyo. Now, they had made their money creating auto rickshaws and later trucks under the name Mazda Go. Matsuda loved the Wankel. He immediately licensed it from NSU and brought the prototype to Japan. He essentially bet the farm on the engine and in 1961 told his chief engineer that it needed to be reliable and production ready as soon as possible. Within the first hour of running the prototype, the motor ceased. Within a few days, it had blown itself up. Yamamoto's job was going to be a lot harder than he thought. The main problem was the tips of the triangular piston. As it spun around, it left chattering wear marks on the inside of the chamber. The team called them devil's nail marks. It was only after Yamamoto had a eureka moment while writing that they solved the problem. Using graphite from the pencil leads, they created apex seals. RX-7 guys, you know that word. And they gave the rotor smooth movement around the chamber without chattering. When all was said and done, after 80 prototype cars, Mazda released the Cosmo Sport 110 in 1967. Their very first rotary sports car. The Cosmo and the rest of Mazda's rotary fleet sold really well until the gas crisis hit.
Now these are the gas prices last year. These are the gas prices this year.
In 1978, the markets had recovered enough for them to debut their new rotary sports car, the Mazda RX-7. The RX-7, known as the Savannah in Japan, was meant as a direct replacement for the RX-3 series. The RX-7 ended up indirectly replacing all of the other rotary cars except the Cosmo. Mazda retired everything else in 1977. It was inspired by the Lotus Elan, and the first series referred to as the SA because of the beginning of the VIN series was a light two-seat coupe. Mazda called it front midship rear drive since the Wankel 12A engine was sitting slightly behind the front axle. This gave the car a low center of gravity and good weight distribution. She's a good-looking girl. She's got good weight distribution. While the engine was definitely light, it packed quite a punch. The RX-7 could go from 0 to 60 in 9.2 seconds and ran at 100 miles an hour at 6,000 RPM. Unlike a normal reciprocating engine, the rotary needed to be driven to redline on a fairly regular basis. Mazda actually recommends running it to redline in order to both clear out the carbon deposits and to keep the oil at the right temperature and viscosity. Now that's what I'm talking about! And what kid from the 70s and 80s couldn't get behind a car with pop-up fucking headlights? Come to think of it, I'm still behind anything with pop-up headlights. All three series of RX-7s were released in the US with the FB name attached to the Series 2 and 3. Series 3 saw the introduction of the 1.3-liter 13B engine. The RX-7 was already becoming a darling of the club racing level. It was fast and very light, and it handled beautifully, as long as you had fuel in the tank, because if you had an empty tank, it would spin. In 1985, the year I was born, Mazda redesigned the RX-7 for my birthday, and the second generation was born. This time they took inspiration from the Porsche 944, and the FC RX-7s were closer to a touring car with sports car highlights than the first-gen pure sports car. The Series 4, produced from 1986 to 88, came standard with the 13B DEI engine, with a turbo version available with 189 horsepower. Mazda also finally got around to upgrading to rack and pinion steering, which greatly improved what could politely be called its tendency to oversteer. It also traded out the clunky drum brakes for discs, and the Series 5 inched up the horsepower to 160 and finally to 200 with the introduction of the Turbo 2, the coolest car in Initial D. The FC was Motor Trend's Import Car of the Year in 1986, and the Turbo 2 earned its second placement in Car and Driver's 10 Best list as well. But even after adding a convertible top, the best RX-7 was yet to come. In 1992, Mazda released the futuristic-looking third-gen Series 6 RX-7. Finally embracing its sports car identity, it came standard with the 13B REW sequential twin-turbo engine. The twin turbos had been designed in part by Hitachi and worked together to give smooth acceleration. The first turbo supplied extra torque at low RPMs, which had always been an issue for the rotary engine, and operated between 1,800 and 4,000 RPM. The second sat on standby until it reached 4,000, with the actual seamless changeover occurring at 4,500.
Do you want my head to explode?
The international community, however, was going to have to be satisfied with this last imported version. Due in part to Japanese financial crisis in the 90s, Ford took over as a controlling interest in Mazda in 1996. The Series 7 RX-7, released soon after, was only available in Japan and Australia. Its final iteration, the Series 8, was released in Japan only with a myriad of upgrades. More efficient turbochargers, better intercooling and radiators, new lighting design, more comfortable seats, 17-inch wheels, and more power.
Power!
But alas, they were not for us. Mazda did introduce the RX-8 in 2003, and we got it. For many Mazda fans, the heavier, less sleek, and less powerful RX-8 was no substitute for the legendary RX-7. The engine was more fuel efficient and had better emissions ratings, but at the cost of less torque, problems with failure on the apex seals, and in some cases on the first-gen cars, total engine failure. Even increased fuel efficiency couldn't save the RX-8 from the economic crash of 2008, and it was retired in 2012. While the RX-7 is no longer in production, it has left a lasting impression in the automotive world and in all of our hearts. The RX-7 was a constant presence in the 24 Hours Le Mans endurance race, from its first missed by a second to qualify in 1979 to its eventual 1991 dominance with the iconic 787B, still one of the most beautiful cars to grace the circuit. The RX-7 dominated the IMSA GTU series for 10 solid years, from 1982 through 92, and won more IMSA races than any other model. It even made an appearance in 11th place at the World Rally Championship in 1981. Not bad for a car 3/4 the size of a Corvette with an engine prone to backfiring and burning through apex seals. Every few years, Mazda teases us with news of a new rotary or a new RX-7, but so far they've not returned to the classic. Here's hoping that one day they'll make it efficient enough to pass new emission standards and still retain the pure fun of the old. This is everything you need to know to get up to speed on the Mazda RX-7. Please click to subscribe, comment down below.
They're gonna make another RX-7. I could see it coming. Okay.
Don't stop fighting. We all appreciate it. You've been there a while.
8, 16. Yeah, I don't think it will make it.
What you just hear, Guardian? I won't forget everyone alone when I won't.
Of course. Sequence is pattern.
Actually, I wanted to test that gun out.
Stock's always changing. Don't take too long.
she said. I should be able to do Nightfall now. Let's go to next.
First time I've run into Jim Carrey. Wait, tell me, is it true you're wandering the streets? You need a date to the party? What's up?
No. I'm doing just fine. I just, there's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
They're celebrating.
You got to admit, it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating icons, boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming, possibility that we can come up with. It's like icons. Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air.
You don't believe certain icons have the power to make change, to think differently, to be bold, to inspire others? Artistry? You're one of them.
On the good foot. Ha! Yeah. You shut it down now. Yeah, no, I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself. And, I don't care.
But Jim, you got really dressed up for the occasion. You look good.
No, I
didn't. Is that an accident?
I didn't get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me.
There's no. We're not here. This is a dream.
This thing's happening. And there are clusters of tetrahedrons moving around together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's happening in our world right now? Because there is a lot of news that actually is relevant that's not that uplifting.
It's not our world.
None of this is real?
Nope.
So you're just passing
We don't matter. We don't matter.
Oh, wow.
That's the good news.
Okay.
Yo, Jim Carrey high as fuck. This nigga high as. This thing, we don't matter. Okay, this nigga. The requirements is stupid. I'm sickened. Oh, is this like a. Look, this is. All right. Nigga, back off.
Crew members, Cabal are approaching for resource acquisition.
Okay, the other one was. Oh shit, even have my specialty either. I'll be damned. guys. Huh? Alright, there you go. That's what I thought.
So you think you're gonna come in here and dig, do you?
What will stop them, I wonder?
Guess they have a jet. Oh, okay. Low speed, and this is ridiculous.
What did they have to go and do that for?
Do I trust the mischievous ghost with heavy machinery? Answer suppressed.
Do I trust the mystery host with heavy machinery? Answer suppressed. Alright, so this is good. Base power too low. What? Let's go up there. Good motherfuckers. Ooh, it is hitting harder. Okay.
Project. Files locked behind Epsilon Theta encryption A, D, and G. No decryption schema found.
Jim Carrey. Yes.
What?
I've covered a lot of fashion weeks. This is the first time.
That's not even funny though, dog. That's not fucking funny, dog. Yo, that's not fucking funny, dog. Like...
Welcome to Eververse.
another ship. How boring.
Come see me again. It's easy math, Guardian. You got the silver, Eververse has the goods. Need some new
Damn
moves,
ship I had.
maybe a new look. Clean up dust, reorganize my inventory. It's not home yet, but it will be. Don't know where my uncle finds these things. No hurry, Guardian. No word from Fenchurch today. He must have found something interesting. It's easy math, Guardian. You got the silver, Eververse has the goods. Looking for anything in particular, Guardian? Don't know where my uncle finds these things. We drove the Red Legion out. We'll do the same to whomever comes next.
Yo. I don't know. I think he on, but he have a nat type. Tell him to come leave the party and join him back in again. Whenever you have a nat type, you have to leave the party and join back in. Oi.
Looking for something in particular?
Nah, every time you have a nat type or it says something about nat type, you have to leave the party and join it back in again. No, you have to. Yeah, but every time it says something about nat type, like it go say you can't say the. No, you hear. Obviously, you hear me now. It's like whenever you join a party and on top it will show by the mic, it will show a X. Yeah, to fix that when it said oh, so you know how to leave it and come back then. Alright,
It's not home yet, but it will be.
you know how to do it but you don't know how to leave yet.
Take as long as you like. Don't get too distracted by the new setup, Guardian.
You what? I don't know, tomorrow's Monday. Nobody won't be on Monday.
Red Legion have made it harder to get my shipments through.
Daniel, you have school tomorrow? School come back on? Really? No, I remember Daniel. I do, I'm going to college. Oh, okay. I guess I got a week of vacation, extra vacation.
Welcome to the all-new Eververse, Guardian. Take as long as you like. I can wait. We drove the Red Legion out. We'll do the same to whomever comes next.
Right away, Guardian.
Need some new moves, Guardian? Maybe a new look? Need some new moves, Guardian? Maybe a new look?
Oh.
Clean up dust, reorganize my inventory. It's not home yet, but it
What's
will
up?
be.
Yeah. Huh? Alright. Oh, okay. Yeah. Actually, no, that's yeah. It come out in 2012. Or you should try to watch Devil May Cry after. That is a good one. Oh yeah, only 12 episodes.
No word from Fenchurch today. You must have found something interesting.
Right now, upgrading my character. Looking good so far.
Need some new moves, Guardian? Maybe a new look?
The upgrade, the way how it is, it kind of good. Although I hate the shades how you have to put in each and every one, but they make it up by but they make it up by giving the guns and them different type of shaders too. So
Clean up dust, reorganize my inventory. It's not home yet,
yeah,
but it will be.
Yeah, I thought. Plus, you can give.
Just browsing.
Yeah.
That's fine by me.
Plus, you could put different type of shades. Let me see. Yeah. 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 Love it. It's, there's a fan made Hellsing. They just use the episode itself, but there's just like a person who just say talk kind of like re-talk them in English, and it's so funny. It's called Hellsing Abridged. You should. It's on YouTube. You should check it out. It's real fun. It's so funny. You watch Devil? Yeah, you watch that? Devil May Cry. It was a game first, then anime. Yeah, it's actually an anime.
Our inventory is stopped, so.
And make sure you watch. You finished watch Bleach yet? Yeah, Bleach. You almost finished watch it. You watch it yet, or you haven't watched it? Oh, you're halfway in. Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, no. Huh. That's tough. Yeah. Alright. Alright, fellas, I'm going to come back there.